finally, this is the one I've been wanting to film for so long. I'm gonna explain my trip to Tanzania, Africa. So there's actually 2 parts to this video. So I've done this video which is focused on my teaching in Africa and my experience in Tanzania. I want to do a separate video for the safari because they're kind of 2 massive things, so I wanted to split it. So what made you want to go and how did the trip come about? So I've always wanted to do something like where I feel like I'm making like a difference or like helping, but I mean like proper fulfilling, like going to quite extreme places and just teaching. So I thought, oh, I'm just gonna do it. Did you know someone else who had been? I messaged a guy called Jesse actually. He said, as a girl, be careful, but I was always gonna be wary anyway. Did you use a company or plan it yourself? I used a company called Projects Abroad. So they explain everything to you beforehand, and I had a couple calls with them. I had to get a DCB because I was working with kids. The dates cross over, so you'll never be the same time set as someone else, but they might be on a part of your trip. So I found that out and I learned who I was going to be with. How did you fund the trip? So some of the trip I actually self-funded, I paid for it. And then some of it I raised money actually. My companies paid some money towards it. People that donated their money would go towards the school I was helping out there. So yeah, I did. I had like a little Projects Abroad fundraising page. I think I literally raised like £500–600. That was really good. Vaccinations, yes, I'd already had my vaccinations from Thailand, so they covered me for this trip. Summarise your travel day, how was it? I stopped at Qatar, and then from Qatar I went to Kilimanjaro. But obviously you have to have the right documentation because I'm volunteering out there. They need to know where you're going to be, etc. There's a lot of volunteers actually, a lot of people doing placements from all over the world that come to Tanzania. When I got to the airport, I couldn't find my driver. I was a bit scared, I'm not gonna lie, because my phone wasn't even working at that point, and I come out and everyone's there just with these signs, and it was mainly males and then just me. Luckily I found the guy and ended up going in the car with them to where I was gonna stay, and then I met the family I was staying with and the younger sisters, and then I had dinner, and I was so tired from the travel I just went straight to bed that night. Accommodation and locations, where did you stay? What was it like? The vibe, the conditions? So I stayed in a room at a host family's house. They had a lovely house. They were very well off compared to the area they were living in. They had gates, a big room with like bunk beds, which is what I stayed in with one of the other volunteers. And then we had like our own toilet, shower room, and then we'd share like their dining table and stuff with them when they had dinner and breakfast. So it was good. It was Mama Chiquita. She looked after us. She'd make us breakfast and dinner and stuff. What did you do there at each location? I've done an itinerary on this. It's not really things to tag because it's such a remote location. Unless you do it through a company like this, you're probably not going to go there. The postcodes and stuff really not clear. Some of the stuff I'm not even going to tag because I can't find where it is, which just sounds crazy, but I'm being honest. It's really hard to find on a map. Like the school I was teaching at is literally off-road. So different to anything I've ever done. So my first day of teaching, I had an early breakfast, 6:45. If you don't eat it, you're missing it. And then we travelled with the guy with us on the dullas, 2 dullas actually. They're like the equivalent of a taxi. No rules and regulations, you're just in the back of a van. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. There's like 20 people in the back of like what in England they'd only probably let 8. And then we got on an off-road truck to the school. I met the teachers and the kids at the school, and I was assisting with middle class on that first day. So we did counting and just simple things. I did not realise the next day the guy was not going to be with us. He only is with you on your first day. And we stuck out like sore thumbs. A lot of people out there haven't seen white people, so you don't understand the language. It's just you feel really exposed and vulnerable. So that is just honestly how I felt. Once I got to the school, I was absolutely fine. The teachers there were lovely, and we were so far away from like the main roads and stuff with them at playtime, making sure they were all okay, doing numbers, counting, and then they let us go across, like literally opposite. They had a maternity ward there, which is where all the ladies from the Maasi villages have their babies. Just another world. Honestly, it's so different to anything I know. And we were doing dancing at the school. They just showed us, they were showing us their way of life, literally. Aisha, her name was the nurse. She's lovely. I've still got her on WhatsApp. That evening, I was with the other girls. One of the girls was from France and one of the girls was from Netherlands. On the way back to have dinner, we went to the tattoo shop. They wanted to get a tattoo, so I had a tattoo. Each day at the school was quite similar. It's different itineraries for the day for the kids, like different things to learn, and then they do like singing.
I can sing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Goodbye teachers. Goodbye teachers.
Really cute. Like they always do singing songs. When you get there, they have to all wash their hands, so you help them. Like you do get one of you is going across the line like with the soap, and honestly, it's just so wholesome. They have not got much at all. They've got nothing, and they are so happy, and it just makes you feel so like lucky. Like it just makes you puts life into perspective basically. Yeah, that was just eye-opening. They're just such happy little kids. And then they have lunchtime, and they have like, it's like porridge, but like a massive porridge, and then they all have a little cup and they wait there and then you fill their cup up. It's just so sweet. The most eye-opening thing I'd seen was knowing that the little kids, like, they don't get dropped off to school by their parents or anything. They just turn up, and they're like age 2. Like age 2 to probably like 6, 7. They were all quite young, but the 2-year-olds, they just literally walk to school on their own. One day, the ladies wanted to take us behind to where the actual Maasi village is, so where the tribes live, like literally their homes. They were so hospitable, the ladies that were there. I'm seeing their background. The men have so many wives. I remember I held like a newborn baby, literally just newborn. She was like, hold it, and I'm there like, oh my god. They offered us tea, and they had like cows there where they like literally get the milk. They were just still happy though, like they still just get by, like they don't have much. I remember like in one of them, they've tried to make it as homely as they can, like their homes. They have like some calendars up, and I just remember seeing a calendar and I was thinking, like, if someone in England had that up in their house, like they've got literally like proper bricked house with, and yeah, I deeped it. I really did deep it because it is that surreal. I'm so privileged that I got to experience that, really, because not a lot of people would. One of the days, I remember one of the teachers come over to me and was like, Megan, like, help, she's cut herself. And I looked at her, she had blood all over her face, and I was like, whoa, like, what's happened? She'd fallen off the climbing frame, which was massive. She's like 2, so I remember wiping it for her and put a little plaster. She was just really dozy and drowsy. We ended up saying to her like to go home. Her and her little sister, they were both 2, and just held hands and like just walked off into the distance. Honestly, I took a photo because I was just like, this memory, I'm trying to give it as honest as I can. One day we had the speaker and we was all dancing outside. The guy with the truck, his daughter, she loved me. Like, her name was Dodo. She was so cute. Like, we had a little bond. And they all want your attention so much. You're trying to split your attention. It is chaotic, but it's just, they don't mean any harm by it. Yeah, so that was my teaching experience, really. Obviously, I wasn't there for long enough. I literally was teaching for like a week. That's not long at all, I know. But it was still my little impact. Whether they learned something from it, I hope they did. Some colours, and I was teaching, I remember like I did like red, blue, and you're like pointing and they're shouting it back at you. Projects Abroad was good, but it wasn't as planned as it was planned, but it wasn't as, I presumed you'd be with someone the whole time, and you wasn't really. You were just with your volunteers, which is very dangerous in such a remote location as well. That's my opinion on it. Become really good friends with the teachers and like the guy with the truck, and they were really nice to me. Like, they still kept in contact with me, and they always asked, like, you're gonna come back? I probably would go back to the school if I could not have the experience of getting public transport. Oh yeah, one of the days we did do Swahili class, so I learnt some things. Asante sana, that is thank you very much. Huna tosha, that's enough. So washing your hands, that's enough. Pole, sorry. Acha is stop, because we were teaching the kids that stop. What's your name is Gina lako ninani. Gina lako ninani is what's your name. Nuzuri sana is well done. They're my little things I learned at the Swahili class, and we made samosas. So I wanted to add in this part, souvenirs or photo books. The documentation enabled me into Tanzania so that I could teach. First off, this little Tanzania necklace. It's got really cute little Tanzania little beads on it. The colours of the flag. I think I got this from the market the same time that I got these, because I've never worn them in my life, but I just thought, oh, you never know. I thought they were quite neutral and they would go with things. To be honest, I might keep them. So hoop earrings and a matching necklace. The guy who drove us in the truck, he gave me this. So it's like a bracelet and it's got like a little elephant on it. Nice little keepsake. He literally gave this to me while we was at the little school. In Tanzania, they actually do take dollar as well, dollars, American dollars. So I don't know why, but I've got a $1 bill here. I did actually convert mine into Tanzanian shillings. A DTAC Happy Tourist SIM here. That was my SIM card. My flights, I flew with Qatar. Got my boots, vaccinations. I got malaria tablets just to be safe. So I did take malaria tablets. I forgot that. Tetanus, and then I've got the side effects leaflet just in case. Provisional accommodation details. So this is all the stuff that Projects Abroad arranged for me. Main house has 6 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room and a dining area, and a Western style washrooms. They say Western style washrooms, so you know that it's not a hole in the floor. Oh, I never saw this actually. Should have read this. It's basically got the rest of the amenities at the place. I wish I saw this. I had to also have a letter to state that I was going to be volunteering out there, and then they sign it. so I had to have that. And I needed that letter in order to get my visa. You get your visa when you're in the airport there. This yellow thing is from the bank, so I think this is when I transferred my American dollars into shillings. That was all signed off. A certificate of compliance that show them at the visa office. I had to get a DBS. It's pretty much all the documents really. Let me get my photo book. So I think I actually gave a sneak peek of this, my first ever YouTube video, and I showed this book, but this obviously is my Tanzania video. I put that at the front because that's one of my favourite photos. And then inside it's literally just, oh, what's that one? What's that? Immigration services. Oh, my visa bill. There we go. It's from at home with my dog all the way to getting there. You would have seen all of these photos throughout this video. This book is my whole teaching experience, and also it's got the photos at the back from the safari. I'm going to skip back to the rest of the video I'd already filmed. That was my teaching in Tanzania experience. I've gone all over the shot explaining that. I just wanted to be explaining it as I say it because there's so many memories from the trip that I can't even remember was what day. It's just something I'll cherish forever, to be honest. I've got a photo up actually in my room. I'll show you. The two teachers, and they put my name on the wall. Megan, Candice, Kim, Megan, they put our names on the wall. And my name's in the truck. That was my Tanzania teaching experience. This needed its own video. I had a lot to say about it. It contradicts itself because I'm so lucky to be able to do a safari, and I've just come from teaching less privileged people. It was really like bittersweet. I hope I still made a difference to them, but then I still got to do something of myself that I've always wanted to do. If you watched this all the way through, again, I'm really grateful. I did do it, and I'm here to tell the tale. If you thought this was a good video or insightful, please like it, please comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.